Imagine you're standing in a wide open space filled with doors, and behind every door, there's a story, a test, a hope, and a heartbeat of waiting. Among all those doors, there's one that looks a little distant, but it's one of the strongest doors that has changed the lives of millions of women around the world, the door of IVF. This journey isn't just a medical process. It's a journey of emotions, hope, patience, science, decisions, and challenges. In this video, we'll walk together through every detail of IVF, from what does it even mean, all the way to the moment of the pregnancy test, with everything that happens in between. At some point, every woman who's seeking motherhood reaches a moment where she pauses and asks herself, why am I not getting pregnant? Why does it happen faster for others? Why is the road a little longer for me? So many questions and even more emotions. But right after that moment comes a decision to take a step, to look for answers, to understand your body better. And very often, the first step is IVF-ICSI. What is ICSI? ICSI, Intracytoplasmic Sperm Injection, is a highly precise fertility treatment. The doctor picks up a single sperm using a very fine microscopic needle and injects it directly inside a mature egg. Then the egg is fertilized, a developing embryo forms, and later that embryo is transferred back into the uterus. The idea is to bypass specific difficulties, such as sperm issues, count, movement, morphology, weak ovulation or advanced age, blocked fallopian tubes, fertilization problems, previous failed pregnancy attempts. This technique has evolved massively and is now one of the most successful fertility treatments in the world. Who is ICSI for? Generally, any couple who has been trying for a while with no pregnancy or who has a hormonal or anatomical issue can consider ICSI as an option. Doctors often recommend it for unexplained infertility for a long time, failed IUI cycles, low sperm movement or quality, low number or quality of eggs, certain hormonal disorders, endometriosis, PCOS resistant to treatment, age-related decline in egg reserve. But remember, not everyone who chooses ICSI has a big problem. Sometimes it's simply the fastest path to pregnancy instead of waiting for years. Stage 1. Preparation. The ICSI journey doesn't start on egg retrieval day. It starts weeks before. Common preparation steps: hormone tests to assess ovulation, vaginal ultrasound to evaluate uterus and ovaries, ovarian reserve test, AMH, detailed semen analysis, viral screening. During this phase, women often feel a mix of emotions: anxiety, fear, hope, confusion. But believe me, every step brings you closer to your dream. Stage 2. Stimulation. This is where treatment begins. Your doctor prescribes daily injections to stimulate the ovaries to produce more mature eggs. Imagine your ovaries as a garden. Normally, only one flower grows each month. Stimulation makes several flowers grow together so we can pick the best ones. You may feel bloating, abdominal heaviness, mood swings, headache, or fatigue, all totally normal, and the doctor monitors you with ultrasound regularly. Stage 3. Egg retrieval. This day feels emotional, but the procedure is far simpler than you think. You enter the operating room. You receive light sedation or mild anesthesia. The retrieval takes only 10 to 20 minutes. Done using a needle guided by ultrasound, no cuts, no pain. You go home after a few hours, and the rest of the magic happens in the lab. Stage 4. Injection and fertilization. This step is highly precise and often determines success. The embryologist takes each egg and injects a single sperm inside it. Then each embryo is monitored hour by hour. Was it fertilized? Did it divide properly? Did it reach day 3? Did it reach the blastocyst stage? This phase is called embryo culture, the most critical part of the entire process. Stage 5, embryo transfer. A deeply emotional moment. No pain, no anesthesia, a very simple procedure that takes seconds. The doctor places the embryo in a thin catheter and gently inserts it into the uterus. Then, medicine steps back and destiny takes over. Most women never forget this day. It's the moment they feel that hope has settled inside them, literally and symbolically. After transfer, the most critical mental and physical phase. The 14 days after transfer are completely unique. First 2 days, rest. After that, normal movement, but gently. Avoid heavy physical effort, high heat, intense stress, overthinking. You might feel cramps, mild pulling sensations, bloating, light discomfort, all normal. None of it indicates success or failure. Pregnancy test. The day your heart is terrified and excited at the same time. A blood test 12 to 14 days after transfer gives the final answer. Receiving the result is emotional. Sometimes it's tears of joy, sometimes tears of pain. But in all cases, ICSI is never the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter. If it works, the pregnancy journey begins. If it doesn't, you try again with new insight. No attempt is wasted. Every cycle teaches you something valuable. Success rates. It's not your fault. Many factors affect ICSI success. Age, egg quality, sperm quality, uterine lining, inflammation levels, mental state, and the accuracy of the fertility lab. There's no fixed number, but the average success rate ranges from 35 to 70% depending on the case. Always remember, every woman is different, every journey is unique, and every path has its right timing. Emotional questions along the journey. Is it wrong to feel scared? No. Fear is completely normal. Is it normal to feel pressure? Yes, this journey is full of emotions. Does a failed attempt mean the end? Never! Thousands of women conceive on their 3rd or 4th attempt. Does choosing ICSI mean I have a major problem? Not necessarily. Sometimes it's just the faster path. Golden tips before starting. Get good sleep, eat balanced meals, drink plenty of water, reduce caffeine, do light exercise, avoid stress as much as possible, take your prescribed supplements, ask every question, nothing is silly. The fertility journey isn't a race, it's not a competition, and it's not a pressure test. It's a deeply human journey. Why does infertility happen in the first place? Understanding the causes before treatment. Before any woman begins the ICSI journey, she must understand that infertility is not a sign of weakness, not a flaw, and not a reflection of her value as a person. There are many medical reasons, and some of them are very simple and not obvious. The most common reasons that may lead to ICSI: ovulation problems, such as weak ovulation, irregular cycles, PCOS, or hormone imbalances. This is one of the most common causes of delayed natural conception. Sperm problems, low count, poor motility, or abnormal morphology. Extremely common issues, and ICSI was designed to overcome them. Blocked fallopian tubes. If the path between the egg and uterus is blocked, natural fertilization becomes difficult. Age. Age clearly affects egg quality. The older the age, the lower the fertilization rate. Endometriosis can cause inflammation, implantation difficulty, and delayed conception. Unexplained infertility, the most emotionally painful, when all tests are normal, but pregnancy doesn't happen. These cases often respond very well to ICSI. Medications. Why we use them and how they work. The medication protocol in ICSI looks overwhelming, but it becomes simple once you understand the goal. Main types of medications. Ovarian stimulation injections. They encourage the ovaries to produce multiple eggs instead of just one. Doses vary based on age, weight, and hormone tests. Antagonist injections, egg-holding injections, prevent the eggs from being released too early so they can be retrieved at the perfect time. Trigger shot prepares the eggs for full maturation and is given 36 hours before retrieval. Post-transfer medications, progesterone, pregnancy support medications, vitamins, and blood flow enhancing supplements. Important, medications don't mean your case is serious. They're simply logical steps to maximize your chances. Mistakes that can reduce success rates. Many failures happen not because of medical issues, but because of small daily habits. Very common mistakes: excessive stress, poor sleep, random and unbalanced eating, high caffeine intake, heavy physical exertion, comparing your journey to others, delaying required tests, choosing an inexperienced clinic. Remember, ICSI isn't a single step. It's a life project, and it must be handled by experienced professionals. What happens inside the lab? The deepest part of the process. Once the eggs are retrieved, a full embryology team begins extremely delicate work. Inside the lab, cleaning and preparing the eggs, selecting the best sperm, injecting one sperm into each egg, monitoring embryo division, evaluating embryo strength, selecting the best embryo for transfer. Why doesn't every embryo survive? Because embryos are like seeds. Some are strong, some weak, and some can't grow at all. This is completely normal and happens to everyone. Frozen embryos, the hidden treasure many don't realize. One of the greatest advantages of ICSI is the ability to freeze embryos. Why is freezing beneficial? Preserves your embryos with the same quality, provides extra attempts without repeating stimulation, gives the body a break from medications, has high success rates, sometimes even higher than fresh transfers. Frozen transfers today are often incredibly successful. The emotional side, half of the success. Ask any doctor or any woman who has been through ICSI, they will all say, your emotional state matters more than the medication. Why? Because stress increases certain hormones that can affect implantation. But calmness, breathing exercises, and visualizing success make a huge difference. Signs of psychological pressure: crying for no clear reason, feeling guilty or inadequate, comparing yourself to others, sudden loss of hope, constant need for reassurance. All of this is normal, not weakness. You are in a challenging journey and the pressure is real. How to cope? Reduce communication with people who ask too many questions. Talk to someone who truly understands you. Write your feelings. Listen to calming music. Practice deep breathing. Unfollow accounts that disturb your peace. 2 days before egg retrieval, the peak of anxiety. You may feel extremely anxious. You may struggle to sleep. You may fear pain. But retrieval is 95% easier than what you're imagining. It's a very simple procedure, and most women walk out surprised by how fast and smooth it was. After embryo transfer, the calm before the storm. The first 2 days after transfer are the welcoming phase. The uterus prepares itself to receive the embryo. The most important rule: don't treat every minute like a test. No symptom confirms success. No symptom confirms failure. Sometimes successful cases feel nothing. Sometimes unsuccessful cases feel every symptom. So avoid overanalyzing and let your body do its job. Possible symptoms that mean nothing: period-like cramps, back pain, pelvic heaviness,
dizziness, sleeping a lot, headaches, gas and bloating, light twinges. All of these are normal in both successful and unsuccessful cycles. After the pregnancy test, whether the result is positive or negative. If positive, a new journey begins. Monitoring, stability, calmness, and growing joy. If negative, your heart will break. But believe me, no attempt goes to waste. Every cycle reveals something to the doctor, builds your experience, and brings you closer to the successful attempt. Some succeed from the first time, some from the second, some from the third. The important thing is, the path is still open and the door is still there. Golden tips to increase success rates. Stay hydrated. Eat protein daily. Cut out sugar as much as possible. Sleep 7 to 8 hours. Take folic acid. Avoid physical exertion. Avoid high heat. Keep your blood circulation active with light walking.
Nutrition before, during, and after ICSI. Nutrition is not a luxury during the fertility journey. On the contrary, it's a core part of the success of the process. The most important nutrients you must include in your daily routine. Protein. Supports hormone production and keeps blood sugar stable. Examples: eggs, fish, chicken, legumes. Healthy fats. Crucial for egg quality and hormone regulation. Examples: avocado, nuts, olive oil. Leafy vegetables. Rich in folate, minerals, and antioxidants. Water. Helps with hormonal balance and improves blood flow to the uterus. Foods to avoid. High sugar foods. Fried foods. Excessive caffeine. Fast food. Processed foods with preservatives. Why is nutrition important during ICSI? Because it improves egg quality, reduces inflammation, and prepares the uterine lining for embryo implantation. Star, dealing with failure, the hardest moment of the journey. One of the most painful moments in the ICSI journey is receiving a negative result. A moment that breaks your heart, makes you doubt yourself, your body, and your decisions. But let me tell you something important. Failure is not the end, and it doesn't mean there is no hope. Scientific truth. Many women who successfully conceived through ICSI failed the first attempt. A large study showed that a high percentage get pregnant on the second try. Many succeed on the third or fourth. Why might the first attempt fail? Eggs weren't at their best quality. Embryos weren't strong enough. The uterine lining wasn't ready. Timing wasn't optimal. The body was under too much stress. Failure doesn't define you, and it doesn't mean you're incapable. It simply means your turn hasn't come yet, but it's coming. Star. Does sexual intercourse affect the process? A very common question. Before egg retrieval, it's recommended to abstain for 2 to 3 days only to improve semen quality. After embryo transfer, intercourse is not medically forbidden, but many doctors advise postponing it for the first week to avoid uterine contractions. Advice from women who have gone through the journey. Real experiences. Don't overanalyze every single symptom. You'll drive yourself crazy. Do what makes you feel comfortable, not what people tell you. Don't wait for the last day. The days will pass anyway. Rest is important, but the type of rest that calms you, not scares you. Choose a reputable fertility center. That's more important than anything. If you fail, allow yourself to feel sad, then start again. These words summarize the emotions of women who lived through the experience, and each one will tell you, believe me, the day you succeed will make you forget everything. Frequently asked questions, simplified and detailed answers. 1. Is egg retrieval painful? No. It's done under light sedation or simple anesthesia, and most women say it's much easier than they expected. 2. Do I have to rest after embryo transfer? Only for the first 2 days. After that, you can move normally, just avoid heavy exertion. 3. Do pregnancy symptoms appear early? Maybe, but there's no guaranteed sign before the test. 4. Does the number of eggs determine success? Not always. Some women produce few eggs, but with excellent quality, which matters more. 5. Does psychological stress ruin the process? It can affect hormones, so staying calm is very important. 6. Is day 3 or day 5 embryo transfer better? Both are successful. The choice depends on embryo quality and number. What happens to the embryo after transfer? Very detailed explanation. Day 1. The embryo begins to settle inside the uterus. Days 2 to 3. It starts attempting to attach itself to the uterine wall. Days 4 to 5. True implantation happens. Days 6 to 7. Pregnancy hormone production begins. Days 8 to 14. The hormone rises enough to be detectable in blood. All of this happens without you feeling anything noticeable. Positive visualization during ICSI. The mind plays a huge role in the success of any health journey. Try imagining every day. A warm, welcoming uterus. A stable embryo. Blood flowing to the right place. Your body receiving life. The egg dividing properly. The embryo growing day by day. Visualization isn't magic, but scientifically it reduces stress, improves hormones, and supports the nervous system. A message to every woman about to start her journey. You may be scared. You may feel the road is long. You may feel lost, unsure where you're heading, but I want you to know every step you take brings you closer to your dream. Every tear has meaning. Every night you spent holding on to hope wasn't wasted. And every time you whispered, Ya Rab, it was heard by a merciful Lord. ICSI isn't a test of strength. It's not a measure of your worth. It's not proof you're failing. And it's not a sign your body is weak. You are not less than anyone. You are not alone. You are stronger than you think. And God can give you from where you least expect. At the end of the journey, it doesn't matter how long the road was, how tired you felt, or how many attempts you went through. What matters is that you kept going. You kept dreaming. You chose courage over surrender. ICSI isn't just a medical procedure. It's a door open to the possibility of life. A message that says, there is still a chance, still hope, and the dream can still come true. What is planted in the heart never gets lost. What you truly wish for will come. No matter how hard the journey is, the ending is always worth it. All the good is coming your way. Just be patient, hold on, and continue. May God grant you the moment you finally hold your baby and look back at all of this with a smile and say, the road was long, but thank God it was worth it.